Hey guys, it's Wednesday, October 24th. Well, for the first time, I'm making a second video on the market in one day because, wow, what a terrible day for the major indexes. I've got cnbc.com open in front of you on the markets page. You can see S&P 500 was down 3.09%. The NASDAQ down 4.43%. The Dow Jones down 2.41% on the day. So major declines. The reason I wanted to make a second video is because this index moved below a threshold or a floor that I have been talking about for the last couple weeks, or since I started making these videos. Anyways, I haven't reviewed how many trading days I've been doing that now for. So the market, the index rather, the S&P ended at 2656.10 today, tremendously down from its previous levels. What I was saying before was that the index was exploring territory between 2713 and 2730. I had located that inflection point from back in May and all the way through July. I had argued that 2713 was a sort of floor or an inflection point from back in May to July of this year, and that floor sort of held, arguably at least somewhere in the range of 27 to 2730, has held since the 11th of this month, and the stocks had bounced off of that. And I think just last week I said that over the next 5 or so trading days I expected that to continue. Now today the market, or this index, decidedly blew through that level, just completely abandoned that. You can see it toyed with that level for part of the day, but then just completely blew through it to drop down to 2655. So that really alerted me. From here, it's hard to see where this bottom is going to be, or the next resistance rather, what the next question this market is going to test out, because we have to go back quite a ways until we discover where the market was considering these levels. It looks to me all the way that we have to go all the way back to the beginning of May or in April, really, until we find a point where the market was back at these current levels. Real quickly here, we can also notice that now for 2018, the S&P is now down. It's now lower than it was at the start of 2018. S&P has now had a losing year for 2018. But going back to where I think this market is going to test the next levels, it's hard to say if that's going to be somewhere around 2630, perhaps. You might argue, looking back in April, or 2640, perhaps that was a bit of an inflection point. My concern would be, if I was hoping for that, hoping for some kind of rebound in this index, is that it doesn't really look like that was a particularly interesting threshold for this market, a particularly strong floor. And if that's the case, then really the next particularly notable floor for this market is somewhere around 2580, which means we've got quite a ways to go yet before the next meaningful floor. I mean, you can see on your screen there, this index has fallen right through the 200-day moving average, and it blew through the 50-day way back at the beginning of October. It's hard to see a trend line that hasn't been broken. Certainly nothing this year. I think you've really got to go back, maybe a couple years to even tentatively identify a trend line that might still be intact after today's action, and perhaps even longer than that. So I can't really see it's hard to see what trend line hasn't been broken by the action in recent weeks. And if that's accurate, I'd be really looking out below for where this index is going. Pardon me. I was talking about, I'm short this index. I was talking in previous videos that I was looking to exit that position. I made a decision last night to close my limit sale orders, and I'm very happy I did that because it would have gone through them today. So I am still short this index. I think maybe we'll get a bounce tomorrow on these severe selling, but none of this looks positive for bulls. I mean, there just was not much resistance or much interest from buyers through the day here. And again, I don't see much resistance or an interesting floor for this market, except for back maybe in the 2630 range or 2635 or something like that. But again, that didn't really last. And I think this thing could be going down to 2580 before it slows down, which is a long leg down. Anyways, we'll see where it's going ahead. Certainly, it would be hard to be optimistic about this index right now, as far as I can tell. Thanks for listening. Bye.